today's video, I'll be talking about why I went from being a martial arts guy, talking about using martial arts and different martial arts weapons to defend yourself, to being more on the two-way side. Now, when I say this, I'm not saying that martial arts is ineffective. It's very effective for when you don't have a gun and you're unarmed. But when it comes to self-defense, you need to use what's quick and most effective. And there's nothing more quick and effective than using a firearm. So first, I want to start with the martial arts side. Now, personally, I did not own a firearm until May of this year, around my birthday. It was a gift. And before this, I was very into martial arts. I was trying to think of different ways I could use, like either a weapon, like a knife, or if I would use a sword in some circumstances, or if I just had to rely on my hands and feet holds to defend myself. And the way I see it is that's very good for when you're unarmed. I started with martial arts and I'm still into martial arts. You still need to be proficient with striking and grappling. But when it comes to overall self defense, there's too much unpredictability versus a fixed scenario. Because when you're thinking about different strikes and holds to use in a self defense scenario, you're thinking about it as in like if you're in a ring or you're on a mat or in an octagon, rather than the streets where it's no holds barred, anything goes, and you never know what someone has and you never know what someone might be able to do. Because if you're, let's say, at a gym and you're training someone untrained, like you could do one special move and that'll take them out. Versus you're in the street, you might be able to knock somebody out or knock somebody down or get them on the ground and hold them, and they pull out a knife, and they stab you, then that's game over. So with my position, as I say, it's very good for being unarmed. When you're unarmed, that's all you have to rely on is your hands and your feet. But it can't stop there, and that's where I have a problem with a lot of the people in the martial arts community because it stops at just hands, feet, martial arts weapons. They're for using weapons, but they only factor in martial arts weapons. They're not really for guns. Some of them may own guns, but they never talk about using it in a self-defense scenario. It's either I'm going to run, or I'm going to use my hands or feet, or I have this special weapon that I might use. And I feel like that's just cope. Because if you're in talking about self-defense, you're thinking about what is going to save my life the fastest, most effective, you know it's going to be a gun. But not when you don't know about guns, you don't own one, you start coming up with these alternatives. And that's what it really is, an alternative. I know a gun is going to save me the fastest. Now, on the martial arts side, I think a lot of them they have this philosophy where you're not supposed to harm anyone, you're not supposed to kill anybody, and it's about being humble. Now, in a training scenario, when you're at your dojo, in the gym, wherever, yes, I understand that. But when you're fighting for your life, there's someone who is trying to harm you. You're not trying to get points for a fight. They're trying to kill you. A gun is going to take care of that the fastest. And it'll be way better than trying to run, risk getting followed, or using your fists just for them to pull out a gun or a knife, and you're the one that ends up being killed. That's why you should carry a gun. Gun, first and foremost. Get yourself a gun, take yourself to a range, you practice with it, practice dry fires, educate yourself on gun safety. You do all of that. So when the time comes, hopefully you'll be lucky enough to have the confidence be able to defend yourself in self defense scenario. Let's say you're unarmed, then that's when you need to learn different arts, different combat sports. You do boxing, you do jujitsu, you can learn how to wrestle, you can do Muay Thai. Those would be the first before most effective. I'd say for the average person, just get some boxing or jujitsu classes and you should be good. You don't really have to learn Muay Thai if you don't really care for martial arts that much. If you do, can do Muay Thai, can do Jiu-Jitsu. Those would be my two most preferred. You should be a fighter and a gunman. And that's mostly all I really want to say in this video. It's not an anti-martial arts video and that fighting doesn't matter. Yes, fighting does matter. And I feel like on a lot of the pro gun people that they just completely disregard it and they solely rely on a gun. For me, that does sound like a bit of a coward because you gotta learn how to fight with your hands, man. You can't carry a gun everywhere. And I explained that in my other video, guns, running, martial arts for self-defense. So you can go watch that one. But it can't just be one or the other. It has to be both if you want to be just good for defending yourself. So yeah, that's really all I have to say for this video. If you're a martial artist, don't have a gun, go get yourself a gun. If you're a pro gun guy, don't know how to fight, go get yourself some boxing classes, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, Muay Thai, whatever.